Team, Casey Keller is in DC ahead of that friendly, ahead of their pre-season camp. How do you think they're feeling, Casey, given that they've lost their main man?
Well, I mean, it is Bayern Munich, and Bayern Munich find a way. I mean, they're very competent in the way they recruit to the side. They do a great job of not having to make wholesale changes. Normally, the game plan is to bring in 2 or 3 main people, knowing that a couple people are probably going to be excess as well. Now, to Ali's point, you lose a guy that every year is giving you 40 goals. You don't replace that with one person. So I think the idea for this Bayern Munich side is they're going to have to share the goals. It's no longer going to be just let's rely on Robert Lewandowski and then go from there. It's going to be a case where a lot of people are going to have to step up and pick up the slack.
Casey, you're going to be talking to some of the players later today. What in particular are you going to be discussing with them?
Well, I think a lot of it is more like a history stuff with what's going on with some of the players. You know, talking to Alphonso Davies and how he's, kind of made his, transition from being kind of like a young kid to then becoming more integral, particularly after the injuries and the COVID stuff. Talking to, Kingsley Coman about, his role and the change of going from a younger player to now being a veteran guy. And what is that role? And how does that role change? Every time an established player kind of leaves, now he becomes more of that veteran player. Hopefully I'm going to have an opportunity to talk to Oliver Kahn and some of the, the issues with losing a player like Lewandowski, and then how do you replace him? And then also some of the issues that just the Bundesliga has with their 50+1 system. And is that a detriment to Bayern Munich in that Champions League? And maybe that's a reason why. Maybe their bookies' percentages are a little bit lower to win, because some of the other leagues and some of the other teams have a little bit more of an opportunity to spend that the Bundesliga sides don't.
We'll obviously be hearing those interviews over the next couple of days. Interesting stuff from Nagelsmann talking about Lewandowski's departure. The Bayern manager coming out saying we have a possibility of building FC Bayern without a striker that can reliably score 40 goals. It's an interesting task for me and my coaching staff, as well as for Salihamidzic and Oliver Kahn. Luis, how much of a game changer is it now for Nagelsmann that he hasn't got that focal point, that number 9, that 40 goals a season man?
I think it's a massive blow for Bayern Munich. They couldn't hold him anymore because he wanted to move, and the only way to find a player like this one is to go to the market. But I'm surprised that they are so confident, because it is not easy, and we've seen it when Lionel Messi left Barcelona or Cristiano Ronaldo left Real Madrid. It's not easy to find the act of 40 goals, but not only 40 goals that he scored. Is the amount of assists that he gives, is the amount of chances he creates, is his presence on the field that creates so much problems to the opponent. And he's not finding it. It's not easy to find something like that on the market. And now you're going to have Gnabry, Kimmich, Goretzka, Coman, all these kind of players that they are not used to score double figures during the whole season, to try to push themselves, but it's still not enough. I mean, you are going to have to find in the market someone who can give you 25 goals to try to kind of equalize what you had before, and still not easy, because they are not players like these ones. They are not players that you're going to spend 50 million that can give you 40 goals. You have to find a player that is going to make the perfect season and is going to give you that amount of goals, or find 2 more players who are going to make the perfect season and going to give you 15, 20 goals. That's very, very difficult. So I think that is going to be a moment of transition for Bayern Munich. Of course, in the domestic league, they're going to do well. They got a lot of talent, and of course, they can go through. But in Champions League, I think they're going to struggle once again. They are fantastic, a lot of talent, but not enough to finish probably in the top 4 for this season.
Casey, who do you think he's going to have playing through in the middle?
Well, I mean, I think you would assume that it might be a task for Musiala to really have to step up and to kind of be that guy that can come from a little deeper position to help support. Because if the case where Musiala is a little bit back, Sadio Mane will be the guy, maybe playing not a true number 9, but maybe combining with Musiala coming from a deeper position. So it's going to be interesting to see how they choose that. Or do they go into the transfer market before it ends and see if they can find a true number 9? But I don't think they're going to be able to replicate what Lewandowski's been able to do. So I think it'll be a transition on how they play, and I think that's going to be what Nagelsmann is going to have to try to find out. Can they get Mane in that more advanced position, or will it be somebody else that then you change the complete system because you no longer have that true number 9?
Meanwhile, at the back, Casey, obviously reports that it looks like it's very close to being a done deal. Thiago de Ligt moving from Juve to Bayern. Bayern haven't had a lot of luck over recent years regarding defenders that they've brought in. Could he prove to be the anomaly to this?
Well, they're going to find out. I mean, there's no doubt about it that they need to clean up themselves defensively a little bit, that they have conceded a lot of goals. Unlike, I think they went through a stage one time where they went a lot of games without a clean sheet, and you just don't expect that from a Bayern Munich, particularly with, how talented they are. You think Neuer at times is going to be able to clean that up, but it wasn't the case. Now, where they benefited was they also went something like 50-plus games without not scoring. So whenever you know you're going to score a bunch of goals, it makes it easier that you might concede at the other end. And, something that I want to talk to Alphonso Davies about is just how high of a line they play and how much reliant on his speed of recovery when that line gets broken. So it will be interesting to see if De Ligt can come in and help stabilize that defensive unit. But when you play that high against some of the talented teams that you're going to play against, particularly in Champions League, you have to assume that teams are going to get in behind you.
You mentioned you'll be speaking to Oliver Kahn a little later on. Some interesting quotes attributed to him regarding Harry Kane. The England captain is certainly someone that Kahn has got his eye on, and he's not hiding it. He's under contract with Spurs. He is one of the best strikers out there, and he's a dream for our future. Now we have to see how to put the team together for the current season, so we will see what happens. Casey, what struck me so much about this quote is about how unabashed he is, considering everything that's just happened with Lewandowski in Barcelona and the complaining about everything there that played out in public. Publicly, Kahn's come out and said, you know what, it's a dream to have Harry Kane here.
Well, you don't think every CEO of every club thinks that it would be a dream to have Harry Kane in their side? I mean, of course they would. So, okay, so you're more public about it. I mean, everybody knows this. I mean, obviously, Man City were very public about it last summer, that they really worked hard to get Harry Kane. It didn't work out. The big question is for Harry Kane, and what are his plans? Can Antonio Conte put together a side that can actually win something? Or has Harry Kane made up his mind that if I go to 1 year left on my contract and it looks like that he could possibly walk away for nothing, can he then put the same pressure on Spurs that Lewandowski put on Bayern Munich to say, hey, look, you might want to get a little something for me now because in 6 months I'll sign a pre-contract and you'll get nothing.
What do you think of this, Luis? If you're in Harry Kane's position and come this time next year when you've just got 1 year left on your contract and maybe Spurs have struggled or not got that trophy that he felt that he could win with them, do you start looking at Bayern as an option?
I think he must be on the table. Harry Kane is mentioning last year and the year before that he might be looking for any different option, that he wants to win trophy, he wants to be challenging for every single competition, and he's been struggling. He always delivers, but I think the team just let him down. So it could be one of the options. I think at the moment that Bayern Munich has a big place up front where a number 9 could be joined, I think it's a fantastic option for Harry Kane to start. But no, just waiting for 6 months or 1 year. It could be the right moment to make the chance. I'm not sure if Conte is going to be ready to allow him to go now that they are building a strong team, and he could be facing the likes of Liverpool or Manchester City. Maybe not to win the Premier League, but at least to get in those top 4 positions for Champions League. But I'm not sure, like you guys are mentioning, is going to be enough for him. I think he wants to win trophies. He's been one of the best English strikers for many, many years. And he wants to get some silverware, and probably is the moment that right now to make the move.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.